Hey yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy FRE $H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's THEFLYBOYWAY. Don't X Y. Just check out the channel. And if you can hear that, you know the hood is setting off fireworks for the 4th of July, and I mean it is PPP loan fireworks out there. I mean, they got fireworks out in around the corner in the street that I ain't seen not never in the hood. I just seen them put out a whole little like track and stuff. It's crazy out there, man. But we're here today to discuss slave mentality. And I felt as though, well, first let me say, fair use, fair use. Everything I'm doing now is and using for this is fair use for educational purposes. Now, with that said, let's hop right into the first example in my mind of slave mentality from the big TV host, Stephen A. Smith. He says, I wake up every morning with two thoughts on my mind. One, how do I make my bosses more money? And two, how do I get some of it? But you might not think it was me. You may have think this is a fake tweet. You may have thought maybe he slipped and said this and he wouldn't double down. Let's play the track. Let's play the track.
Wake up every morning with two thoughts. Number one, how do I make my bosses more money? And number two, how do I get some of it? And when I put it like that, there isn't anybody that's not going to be receptive to what I want to say.
Okay. That's slave mentality number one. I just want to play them both first, and then we're going to go back to it. The second one comes from fellow super black guy, Dr. Umar. No offense, but I should have started this off with that. No offense, but the second one comes from Dr. Umar, and this was today. Hear it. If you guys hear the fireworks in the background, like I said, the hood is setting them off. This PPP stuff and this SBA got these guys out here with the official fireworks. They got like a tank out there. It's crazy. But let's go.
July 4th, 2021. I better not catch a Negro celebrating it. July 4th, 2021. We are not playing. The Goonie Goon Goons, the Ski Mask Club. We better not see no cookouts. We better not see no celebrations. We better not see no red, white, and blue flags. I better not catch one of you coons celebrating your oppressor's freedom. I better not.
Okay. And I'm going to explain to you why that is a slave mentality after we hop into seeing who came in the room and after we hop into the Stephen A. Smith stuff first. So let me shout out the people who came in the room. We're live in effect. We got shout out to check in effect. We said a little bit earlier. What's going on? I heard Miami temperature broke a new record. If it did, brother, I'm in Jersey, man. I'm gonna get back down to Miami next weekend. But that's crazy. Shout out to my people in Miami right now. Dog Nuts, what's going on, man? Jazz, what's going on, Jazz? Yeah, definitely. If you coming with a like. If you leaving out, leave out with a like. Black Cam TV, what it do, man? Dr. Umar is hilarious. Listen, the whole thing is hilarious, and I'm gonna break down some more stuff too. Yeah, definitely. Yo, I gotta check out that video though. I seen the post, I hit the like button, but I haven't checked out the video yet. So now, before I go into slave mentality, and before I go into what some people may call worker mentality, I felt as though the best way to do this is to give you guys the definition of slave and worker. So let me bring that up next right now. Hold on. All right, so let's go. Let's start with the definition of a slave. The definition of a slave, let's say two definitions as a noun. A person who is a legal property of another and is forced to obey them. Verb, working excessively hard. So a worker who works excessively hard can be pretty much considered a slave by definition. This is not my opinion. This is the definition that we're giving you guys now. Secondly, let's go to worker. A worker, a person who does a specific type of work or works in a specific type of way. A person who produces or achieves a specific thing. Here's where a lot of people, in my mind, don't either fully understand the definition or their perspective from the definition is just different from what the definition actually is. Now, let's get back to this swing. Now, a lot of people are saying what Stephen A. said was, if you're just coming in, like I said, I'll leave a quote up there so you guys can see it. Hold on. Let me leave the quote up there so you guys can see it. A lot of people are saying what Stephen A. Smith said about or if you haven't seen it already, let's see if I can get it right here quickly. Pause it too. All right. A lot of people are saying that this is a worker's mentality. In my mind, it's not, and by definition, I feel as though it's not a worker's mentality. This is a slave's mentality. Because see, a worker knows he or she is going to work to achieve a task, like I said, to get the job done. And after that task is done, they go back home. A slave is basically the possession of somebody, puts other people's thing before them. So if you wake up every morning with the thought that you're trying to make someone else money, then that's a slave mentality, because you're not putting you and your family first. You're putting someone else and their profit before you and your family. I feel as though you should wake up and say, hey, how can I make myself wealthier? How can I produce generational wealth for my family? How can I feed my family? That's the first thing, that comes to your mind. If you have no kids, how can I feed myself? See, that's where it becomes different between a worker and a slave. You see, a slave will say, how can I feed someone else? How can I make money for someone else? A worker will say, how can I feed myself? Is that by helping somebody else? It's a difference. All right. So that's my thoughts on that part right there. Now, I'm gonna get to this Dr. Umar one, and I'm gonna explain why I believe I have the perception that's a slave mentality also, and then we'll get into your comments and your questions if you guys have any comments or questions. All right. So the Dr. Umar one says, no one Black should be celebrating the 4th of July because the white oppressor and the history of the 4th of July, and we wasn't free as slave. Listen, a slave's mentality is to allow someone else to hold space in your head. If you're so upset at a holiday that you can't be happy with your family, you can't take your kids to see the fireworks, you can't celebrate whatever it is. People can say all they want. Oh yes, I'm African, but we're all Black Americans. Well, most of us are Black Americans. If your family was here for generations, your family was slaves, we're Black Americans, regardless of if we was considered 3/4 of male or anything. We're Black Americans. We built this. We built this. So even if my parents and my grandparents and my great grandparents were slaves, or my grandmother was Native American and her family was Native American, we built this. We're from here. So I'm not ever going to give that up. I'm not going to just say, oh, because the past was like that. And I think it's a slave mentality to think that way, because a slave cannot push forward. You see, when on Juneteenth, when they freed the slaves, they trapped their minds. And Dr. Umar in this statement kind of gives me the feeling like his mind is trapped. He can't get past that. He can't see a better future because he can't see past the past, and that's a slave mentality right there. I mean, so that's my thing. Let's see what you guys yeah, they definitely going off in that background, man. Let me see. Chat, yeah, he was in here. Supporter, man. I tell people I don't have fans, I have supporters. 25 people in the room. I hope you hit the like button. Yo, listen. I tried to go a little bit later because at 10:30 it was nuts. At 10:30 it was going like nuts. I figured they ran out of firecrackers by now, but they didn't. Let me turn this AC on too because it's a little bit hot. If the AC is too noisy, let me know, fellas. Let me turn on the low though. There you go. All right, let's see. Replaced next day. Let's go. Let me see. Good night. It was good night, Rio. Literally everything is racist now. Even Aunt Your Mama. I don't even know what happened to that. See, that's the whole thing. I mean, I have a different opinion. Like, I didn't see a problem with Aunt Your Mama. I didn't feel any kind of racism. But you can't really put that on everybody else. You see, the worst thing that you can do is that you can have the leaders say something is racist, but to everybody else is really not. To people who are younger, we don't have them same bonds. We understand what our elders went through and what our other elders went through when they were, going through civil rights and when they were going through slavery and all that stuff. But we don't, as young Blacks, I don't feel as though we have to be offended by the same thing you were offended by. Like, we have a difference of a perspective. Like, I don't really care. Like, I know if I'm in person, if I'm one-on-one with a white person, right? And the white person is trying to urge me on and says the N-word, right? I won't say it because I don't curse a lot. But if it's an N-word, I'm not gonna black on them. That's what they want to say. That's okay. It don't bother me. But if I'm with a bunch of brothers and they say that, it's gonna bother them. So it's like you can't really every black person ain't the same. So it stuff like the Aunt Your Mama switching or the binge rice, that didn't affect us young people because we don't have a thought about that. I actually like to go to the bottle and see Aunt Your Mama on the bottle because I know that syrup gonna be good. I actually like to put Uncle Ben's rice and see the black guy's face on the packet because I know that rice is gonna be good. But the elders are so unable to let go of the past and not forget it. I didn't say forget it, but just let it go from holding your brain hostage as a slave. That things like this happen, man. Things like this happen. Shout out to Global Paper. Brazil had died. What's going on, man? What's going on? We're getting some more into why slave mentality is bad, and they're letting it off out there. I like what you're saying, but Netherlands, Spain, are happy because no one needs to worry about healthcare. Listen, man, that's the issue is that when in America we got so much good stuff, and of course healthcare is not the best, but we got so much good stuff that people are starting to nitpick at every single thing. If we had it as bad as some of these other countries out there, I feel as though people wouldn't be so focused on the little stuff that really does not, it's crazy. Models and bottles. Oh, that's new. Rooftops for life. Investment to die. You already know, man. F saying he snitched on his own college coach. Listen, man, I don't know the whole history of Stephen A. Smith. I do know this though. I don't agree with everything Kwame Brown said. Shout out to that brother. I don't agree with everything Kwame Brown said because I have a worldly view. I've been around the world. I haven't just lived in one area and only know that area from there. I've been around the world as a regular civilian, as a middle class person. So I got different views about life. Not to say his is wrong, but I have a different perspective. But a lot of things Kwame Brown did say about Stephen Smith, it made me question it. Like, why would you purposely treat a black and a white athlete different for the exact same thing? The white athlete smoked weed. You say, oh, he was going through something. The black athlete smoked weed. Oh, he knew better. He should have did something done. He's too big for this. You're a superstar now. Why are you doing this? It kind of like the reason why it kind of make you question it is because you are hired by white people. If it was your own podcast, if it was your own, if you was just YouTubing, all right, you're not gonna say, well, maybe that's not the best thing to say, but hey, that's your opinion. But the fact that I gotta question whether or not your opinion is coming from someone else makes it kind of slave mentality for me. Like, that's another reason, like, for you guys, everybody's been asking me, when you're going to open the super chats, when you're going to accept people's money. And I feel as though the reason I'm having a hard time with doing that, and YouTube is actually, and it's going to sound crazy, YouTube is actually holding me back from reaching a lot of people, because a lot of my videos y'all see have a lot of views, more than some people with like 200, 300,000 subscribers. I have a lot more views, but I feel as though I'm getting held back a little bit because of the fact that I don't turn on my super chats. And I get that same message every sound, like say, hey, every time I sign on it, on his right side, it says, turn on your super chat. I get rid of it. Turn on your super chats. Because I feel as though when you do that, when you work for something and work for somebody or somebody gives you pander to that person. Kind of like Stephen A. Smith, maybe pandering to his boss. Because his boss wants him to make money. So he's pandering to his boss and what his boss wants to say, my opinion, all opinion. And he's pandering to what his boss wants the narrative to be. And because of that, you can't really trust what he says. That's my opinion. Slave mentality. 245 years of independence. Okay. The Aunt Your Mama is racist, but it's not racist to me. That's what I'm saying, Mike Jones. Everybody is different. For you see that as a racist thing. For me, as a young 36-year-old man, I saw that as, damn, I'm going to the store and the only syrup I'm buying is the one with the lady with the dude with the bandana on, with the thing on. Because that, in my image, in my mind, I'm like, yo, that's the good stuff. I tasted it. So, like I said, everyone is different. And to sum it up and just take it off because some people thought it was racist without doing a real survey or something, it's weird. Canada was 1st of July. Canada was 1st of July, 15th for 154 years of independence. Okay. exactly down south. Aunt Jemima is racist. I live in Virginia. That's what I'm saying. It's different for everybody else. Like, I'm from up north. You guys are from down south. Maybe Aunt Jemima was racist down south, but where I'm at up north, the people I've been around, no one has ever said that Aunt Jemima made them feel any type of negativity. If anything, everyone will go to the Aunt Jemima sauce because it had the black lady with the bandana on her head. That's just how we feel up north. You see what I'm saying? It's like, not to say that north, and I would never say better or worse. I rarely try to say better or worse, smarter or less smarter. But I feel as though people from up north, because we've been freer longer, and because, well, not except for New Jersey, and because we've been able to see other majority of ethnicities, and we have a different mindset on stuff that people in the South don't have. So sometimes, yes, somebody in the South will say Aunt Jemima was racist. We don't. So it doesn't make it racist or not. This is crazy. It's the perception. We got 30 people in the room. I hurry hit the like button. Excuse me for the alarm. The hood. I'm in the hood right now, and they letting them things go off. That PPP got them rockets going off all night. Tell the older black leaders to move on. It's like telling whites to move from 9/11 to Sandy Hook. You get it? No, it's not telling whites to move from 9/11 to Sandy Hook. The reason why it's not telling that is because older blacks moving on, when the younger blacks are not as much caring about the same situation. It's different from telling all white people just to move on from 9/11 that happened a couple years ago. That happened 10 years ago. Aunt Jemima, I'm not saying that slavery needs to be forgotten. That's not what I'm saying. There's a difference between moving on and moving to better things and not letting it free up your mind than forgetting about something. And I think a lot of people fall and they don't understand that there's an actual difference between that. Future, let me see. Yeah, definitely pandering. Like Cassius, it's I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm not here to tell you guys that I'm right. I'm not here to tell you guys that you're wrong. I'm here to give you guys a different perspective than what you're hearing in the news. To give you a different perspective than what you see. I'm just giving you my perspective. Doesn't make it right or wrong. Didn't Sash recently sign the biggest contract in ESPN? Yo, listen, man. You gotta follow the money. I always believe in following the money because the money will tell you what's what. And listen, if that's true, listen. Fresh, what's going on? What's going on, Captain Table? It's all right. We're gonna go like 30 minutes. I'll get your questions and stuff. But for those that just walking in, we're talking about this thing right here. Like I said, if you think this is fake, fair use, let me let it play.
Or the majority of it, and you dictate
who's
getting what. You ever thought about that?
Wait, let me see.
But you can't change a worker ants mentality. On Black America, make it.
And when I put it like that,
hold up.
Number one, how do I make my bosses more money? And number two, how do I get some of it? And when I put it like that, there isn't anybody that's not going to be receptive to what I want to say.
You see, here's another thing about this slave mentality, y'all. Here's another thing about the slave mentality. When the people who are put in front of us, regardless if you think he's a good leader or a bad leader, Stephen A. Smith is a leader because he leads his field on TV in front of the masses of black people. When the leaders of today spew this message out over and over and over again, all it does is create more slaves in our people because now you're not hearing both sides. That's my whole thing I always fight for. Being able to hear both sides. And they're not giving you the other side of people that's saying, yo, that's slave mentality. That's a slave mindset to put someone else before yourself that's not your family. Like you put your family, I'll put my kids before me. I'll put my kids before me. But other than that, it's me. It's me. My life is a responsibility, and I feel as though everyone should feel that way. It's so crazy, man. You're up north. That explains so much. You're imperious to think how things are in the dirty. This is the thing, Charles. All right, let me try to word this a little bit better than it might come off. No offense, but in the South, right? If you're from the South, you have a mindset that how the South is, right? If you're from the North, you might have a mindset how the North is, right? But me, I don't know if you guys check my channel. I've traveled a lot around the United States. I've traveled a lot outside of the global atmosphere. Like, I'm not one of these, no offense to them, but I'm not one of these international travelers that go 2 or 3 places and that's it. Bro, I've been like 20 different countries, and I've been there as a middle-class person with money who came from the hood. So when I give my opinion, it's not just an up-north opinion. It's a worldly opinion. However, a lot of people in the South, they like to give their opinion and just knowing that it's only a Southern opinion. Like, it's like you're not open to seeing other sides of the thing. I'm not saying that everybody's like that. I'm just saying a lot of people from the South like, no, this is the way. Like I said, I like Kwame. I like a lot of stuff Kwame Brown's bringing up and stuff. But Kwame Brown has this Southern mentality that you just not everything has to be old fashioned in this way. It's just not always like that. You have to be able to balance everything. My whole life is about balance. You have to be able to balance the stuff. And it's like in the South, it's like this. Follow me, y'all. I said this before. Let's say you have a bubble here, right? Everybody in this bubble thinks that this bubble is everything, right? So they're doing everything in this bubble and think that bubble is everything. Then you have a bubble right here, right? And everybody in this bubble thinks everything is everything, right? And these bubbles are both in the United States, right? 2 different parts, 2 different United States, right? But once you leave that bubble, you see that the whole world is different from what your bubble is inside, and the whole world is more similar to this than to the whole world than to your bubble. You should not have to, but you should come to the conclusion that, like, hey, maybe there's more than my bubble, because outside of my bubble, everybody's thinking one way, but inside my bubble, we're thinking a different way. I'm not saying it's wrong in that bubble, but they're just not willing to think outside the bubble. Stephen A. Smith, Stephen A. says stuff from a rich person point of view with the rich people more, and expects the average person to see the same thing with less resources to feel guilty about not seeing the same thing. That's a good point, Cassius. Here's the thing about that. That's why I'm hoping, like, shout out to YouTube, because YouTube has this thing called YouTube Black Fund and Black Voices, and I'm hoping that I get selected. The application expires on Friday, and I'm hoping I get selected. The reason why I'm hoping I get selected is because it seems like all of the people that are leaders today from the Black community had mothers and fathers. They come from either a middle class community or they had no misery in their life. And I don't think that's the majority of Black people. I think my story, coming from, my mother being there, loving me and being there, but being in and out of the mental institution, and my father not being existent, and me not really clicking with the religion, I think my story is more relatable to more Black people than the people at the top who either always had money, always had a stable family.
I took your ball.
Okay, good job, big boy.
Okay.
Yes, okay, that's okay. Or close my door, please, son. Thank you. Or the people who just don't know what it feels like to grow up in the hood. Like, I mean, the whole thing for me is like, yo, bro, I grew up in Newark, New Jersey. And I didn't grow up in Newark, New Jersey now, which is a lot better. I grew up during the crack epidemic. I didn't sell drugs. I didn't kill nobody. I didn't rob. I didn't rape. I got a whole bunch of stuff I didn't do to show you that, not to say that I'm better than nobody, but to show you there's another way. So I don't think that these people that they put for the top are going through that. Like, even with like the whole, no offense, but even with the whole Charlemagne the God thing, they let him reach the top of the podium. And I'm not saying that he doesn't do anything good. He does. Charlemagne the God does a lot of stuff that was good. But they put him at the top of the podium because they knew they could rip him down with the case that he had, with the lesser charge that he took, with the situation he had. Because if we got all these Black folks to be so much champion this guy, and then all we have to do to snatch them from underneath the legs is bring back up his past, that he did something that most Black people wouldn't agree with, and then say, hey, if you still support him and you support what he's saying, then you're just like him with that. And if you're just like him with that, you're not better than us. But I'm just hoping that YouTube Black allows me to get up there, because then they won't. I'm not one of the people they're gonna have something to pull back from. Ain't gonna be no girls coming up saying, "Yo, he raped me." Ain't gonna be no people saying, "Yo, he killed my father. He sold crack to my mother. He punched a girl in her." None of that. None of that's gonna come up with me. So yes, Stephen A. Smith is saying this from a rich point of view, what people can't relate to, man. I hope you guys hit the like button, man. 35 people in the room. Aunt Jemima is like the lady from Gone with the Wind. The reference, I don't know, Mike Joe. Like I said, it's just so much of a disconnect with culture sometimes with the North and the South that when you say Aunt Jemima is like the lady from Gone with the Wind, I'm like, I don't know. I've seen Gone with the Wind. I don't remember it. It wasn't a memorable movie. You know what I mean? Did they use the bruh? Listen to what I'm saying, yo. I took my son and my niece to the fireworks, right? When I left my house at 7 o'clock, it was light outside, fireworks going off. I went there, came back at 10:30. No, came back at 11 o'clock or 10:30. Fireworks still going off. So yes, the PPP, the SBA, and they still going off now. It's on 11:30. It's crazy, man. I definitely respect your views too, Mike. I try to tell people. I think because of how the miseducation that we have had as Black people, the slave mentality that we've had as Black people, it feels as though a lot of Black people are not comfortable with disagreeing without it being offensive. It's like I can't we can't have a disagreement without you wanting to chop my neck off because of the way I'm talking. But see, I'm able to see past that because of the fact that I've traveled, because of the fact that I've been able to see the world from outside, not just from in the bubble of North New Jersey. Because of that, I've been able to see and understand, like, yeah, everybody has different perspectives. And I will never say somebody's perspective is wrong. I would just say my perspective, it works for me. Your perspective works for you. And I'll try to show you why I wouldn't use their perspective. New York is trash. I don't know. I don't know. It's okay for me. What's going on? Checking effect in the building. What's going on? Yo, check about to be at 30, I think 30,000, 25,000 subscribers, man. Hey, check. Also, make sure you guys subscribe to Check in Effect. I hope you put in for that Black YouTube fund, man, because I'm thinking they're giving out $50,000, and I've been watching it. Let me try to pull something up. I know this is off topic, but I believe we're over 30 minutes or close to over 30 minutes. So Check in Effect, if you're still here, this is what you want to check out, man. Because I've been checking this YouTube Black Voices Fund, bruh, and they got the creators and they got the artists. It's two different. It's the creators and it's artists, right? And I've been checking out both of them, the artists and the creators. On the artist section of this Black Voices YouTube Fund they have going on, there's people with 1,000 subscribers that got picked. There's people with 10,000 subscribers that got picked. There's people with 100,000 subscribers that got picked. So the range from it was like, yo, I mean, I only got 30,000, but I might still have a chance because they picked a couple people with 1,000 or 3,000. On the Black Voices, I think the lowest I seen was like 9,000, and then the highest I seen was like 1 million. So I just kind of dram this in their head because here's the thing, and I don't know why they're doing this, but I appreciate YouTube for doing this. But here's the thing: if you're a Black creator on YouTube, it's a lot of stuff that you can show that may be censored or may be not advertiser friendly. And I think maybe YouTube is trying to help us by, getting us past that hump. Like for me, I put out the Barranquilla Carnival, right? In the carnival, the culture is there's a lot of people dancing. There's a lot of people dancing. There's women dancing in the outfits. But that won't be advertiser friendly because the people, I feel as though, that are looking at that video and judging whether or not it's advertiser friendly or not are not as knowledgeable about the culture because either maybe they're not from the culture or maybe they haven't explored outside of their bubble. So that part of the culture may be like, for them, it may be not advertiser friendly, but for people who actually explore, for travelers like us, we know that's just that part of the culture. So I think that YouTube Black is really doing something to push us past that hump. And I know if I get in this joint, I know if somebody, if I get on this joint, if Check in Effect get on this joint, if Roll the Tape get on this joint, if Passport Heavy, if Passport Action, if Passport Stamp, if This is Ace Live, if I Am Marwa, if any of us that know each other in the travel community get on, even if it's just one, even if it's just two, I know that's gonna start people start searching. People gonna start looking. And I feel as though YouTube Black voices. YouTube Black has artists. Cool. YouTube Black has comedians. Cool. YouTube Black has people who are hosts of podcasts. Cool. But if you really want to change the slave mentality, if you really want to fight against the miseducation we've had for 300 years, well, then you need us travelers to show you. Because us travelers, we show a different way. We show a different perspective that hasn't been shown. I watched this whole 2021 YouTube Black Voices list. There was not one traveler there. There was not one person who explored outside of the city they were from that I've seen really talk about the Black struggle, or rather the Black American struggle. And this is one thing I said in my I don't even know how many people still here, but this is one thing I said in my application. I said, listen, they asked, why do you want to be, why do you want to do the YouTube boy? Why should we choose you? And I said, because I'm just here to show hope, because hope of another way. We don't have that here in the Black community. Where I'm from, in Newark, New Jersey, like I said, they told us we could be a drug dealer, we could be a celebrity, you could be a comedian, you could be a police officer, you could be a basketball player, football player, some kind of sports star. But we could change that. Check. We could change that, y'all. Word is born. Word is born. I know I'm on a tirade. I know I missed a lot of questions, but we could change that, man. And I just hope that one of us do get on, man. TN, what's going on? I think celebrities are bad comparisons because most of them are meant to mislead honest opinion. Hey, listen, TN, okay. I agree like 90% what you're saying, TN. I agree 90%. I feel as though because celebrities are only celebrities because somebody chooses them to be, and because they have to, here's the thing, if you have to make money, if you like shout out to the Felicia Rashad for sticking up for Bill Cosby, but check this out. Felicia Rashad, you know, from the Cosby Show, she works at Howard, right? Howard can fire her because she said that about Bill Cosby. Now let's say they fire her, right? And she doesn't make any more money, and she can't go back into acting, which let's say she didn't have acting. Then she would be more likely to apologize and more likely to change her narrative if that money is why she really do that. That's why for me it's not the same, because if I didn't make $1 off of YouTube, bro, I'm still 3 houses in. I'm working on my 4th place in Mexico. If I get this place in Mexico, I could retire immediately and never have to work again in my life. My kids will never have to work. But that is why celebrities are not, for the majority, good role models and people still follow them, because these celebrities gotta work. These rappers, if these rappers go out and they don't say, "Oh, I'm gonna bust this gun," "Oh, I'm gonna kill this guy, I'm gonna sell this dope, I'm gonna cook this pot, I'm gonna take this perk," if they don't go out and say that, then nobody's gonna want to sign them. Know what I mean? Jay-Z said it before. He said, listen, truthfully, I want to rap like Common Sense, but I got 5 mics and I ain't rapping like Common Sense. Meaning that, listen, I know that this is probably better for my community, but I'm not rapping like that because that's not paying me. That's not getting me the money. That's not getting me the notoriety. So yes, I'm like 90%, maybe 95% with you, TN. My lead is Popeye and Chick-fil-A. Shout out to my homie Bill Gates. He owns a couple Popeyes franchise, man. I feel you, man. Mr. Dump Your Boyfriend 305 in the building. What's up, man? What up? Let's see. No offense, but it's hard to concentrate what you're saying with the hood fireworks in the background. D. Smith, I'm trying to do the best I can. I didn't want to just cancel this whole thing because I know I still had a message to say, and I like making sure I follow through with what I want to say. Jersey is different from New York. Yes, it is. Jersey, New York, it's hard to, in my opinion, no offense, but in New York, it's hard to have this mentality that I have because everything in New York is so flashy. You're raised to believe that flashy way. That's all, folks. You're raised to live this flashy lifestyle, and living that flashy lifestyle can kind of sometimes take away from you doing stuff like I'm doing, like investing and stuff, because that's just the New York vibe. So I don't knock New Yorkers, but yeah, Jersey is different. Bro, you got to learn that the people at the top are chosen. That's what I'm saying. Be there. In other words, they're puppets and the gatekeepers. That's a fact. It's a fact. It's a fact, Mike Jones. I agree. Like I said, you are saying exactly or similar to what TN said, and I'm like 95% with you guys, 90 to 95% with you guys. However, I do believe there are some people up in the top that have the mentality that's different, and they're starting to say stuff and see what they can get away with. Now, I don't think that anybody is directly going out and just, yo, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. But there are a lot of people at the top that are starting to say, well, let me see if I can sneak this in, sneak this this black, is this invest in money, stop buying chains, stop, even Jay-Z tried to do a 4-4-4-4-4-4-4-4, and it's like, all right, it didn't work to me because he didn't live that lifestyle he's trying to preach, but I seen it felt like he was trying to reach out. So, yeah, definitely like the vid, man. I'm working. What's up? What you got? What you doing? Put it in the garbage, man. All right. Put it in the garbage. No, I said I'm working. Just go in the room. Close the door. You close the door. Thank you. A bunch of cornballs, jokes in the chat. Riley, what's going on? This is not your beef. How do we vote? I don't think it's a voting thing. That's the whole thing, TN. It's not a voting thing, which is the reason why it's kind of like, I feel as though my channel is so different from everyone's channel that was on that thing last year. I don't know who else applied this year, but I know last year my channel is just so much different. Not better, not worse, just different. And I just gotta wait and see, man. We just gotta wait and see. I don't know. I don't know. Have I ever been to Canada? Yeah, Darius, I've been to Canada. I've been to Canada twice. I have only been to Toronto though, and Scarborough, and some other place. But I have the videos from 10 years ago when I was in Canada. No, 11 years ago when I was in Canada, and videos from 4 years ago when I was there for Caribbean on my playlist under the Toronto part. Mr. Dumpy Boy, exactly. Young SC, yo, Flyboy, link up for some slew and we'll party and have fun with the ladies. I appreciate you, man. Listen, the whole international travel thing for me is on hold. And I mean, yes, well, not international, not the whole international travel, just certain places, because I'm really trying to bust this last move of getting this place in Mexico. I just bought a place last year in Miami. October, I just closed my place last year. So it's and that was only 7 months ago. So it's a lot of stuff that I'm doing behind the scenes that you guys can't see, and it's a lot of stuff that I'm doing even on the scenes that you guys see that is making it hard for me to go and go to these places. Like everybody asks me, when I'm going to Colombia, let's go to Sosua. Bro, this is the only time I'm going to be able to bust this move with getting the actual condominium outside of the country. And I'm taking my all and doing that. Otho, what's up, man? Appreciate you, man. Thanks. It will put yes, yo, check. I don't know if you still here, check, but yo, it was literally zero. Yo, we can't show that. Let me show it back. Let me show it again. Hold up. It was literally zero travelers. They picked 133. Matter of fact, I seen one girl who does travel, but her channel is about beauty. It's not about travel. There was literally zero travelers out of 133 black people. And normally when they say black, I say black American, because in my mind and in history, when they said black came from people not wanting to be called colored in the United States. But if you want to break apart it, in Africa they call people African, in Caribbean they call them Jamaican or Haitian or wherever you're from the Caribbean, and and all places like that. But black was specifically that. But now the way it is, I understand, I respect it because it's universal. Out of 134, I think it was, black people that they chose, check in effect, there was not one traveler, not one. But hopefully this year is different, man. I got faith in it for now. You know what I mean? What part of Mexico are you looking property at? I'm already working with realtor. Shout out to Century 21 in Mexico. And I'm looking to get a place in Playa del Carmen, at least 5 minutes to 10-minute walk from Fifth Avenue. And I found some places, but the price range, if this refinance that I'm doing, I'm going to talk about this more, and maybe a Money Talk Mondays. I might do a Money Talk Mondays tomorrow and talk about this more. But because now, if this refinance goes through, this property is going to happen. It's going to happen. So, and that's what I'm in the process of doing now. We are not taught to be free. Exactly. That's something that we learn, Adam. It's my opinion, but it seems like other people got a similar opinion. We're not taught to be free. And I feel as though you really can't learn freedom until you travel. And everybody says, oh, what does traveling got to do with freedom? And I say this, how do you know what freedom is if you're still trapped in the same place you've always been? Always been. If you've always been in Newark, New Jersey, and you never left Newark, New Jersey, how can you know what freedom is? If you've always been in New Jersey or New York, in the tri-state area, if you've always been in the United States, how do you know what freedom is? You can never truly know what freedom is until you see it from the outside looking in. And that's from outside of the United States looking in my opinion. Just my opinion. It's not a fact. It's my perception of things. So yes, travel shows you how to be free. And finance. Travel and finance combined. Not just travel. Travel and finance combined. Let me correct myself. You have to have the financial part and the travel part to know your freedom and to actually know how to obtain it. Is your building safe in Miami? I guess yes. My building was renovated with a big project before, and it just finished being paid off 2 years before I bought it. I'm on the water. I'm on the waterfront in Miami. Doesn't make it any worse. I mean, I don't know, but yes, the building seems safe. 50 people in the room. I hope you hit the like button. Clifton Charles, what's going on? What's going on? How much money is enough? How much money is enough depends on the type of lifestyle you want to live. For me, how much money is enough? $5,000 a month or $3,000 a month, and I own the place I live and don't have to pay rent. That's what's enough for me. $3,000 a month, and I own the place that I live and don't have to pay rent. I'm already at almost like $2,000. This is without working. This is just from investments. I'm not talking about work. If you got to go to work, and I don't feel as though you can't be free while you're still working a regular job. You can't be free. If you own investments, you can be free, in my opinion. So yeah, $3,000 a month, and I gotta be living free, which right now I'm at $2,000 a month, and I'm living free because I don't pay rent where I'm at. Oz, what's going on? Definitely, man. I'm trying to show other people, man. Trying to get that back now. Do you recommend traveling alone? What advice are some from traveling alone? Okay, right now with the pandemic, I recommend traveling alone if you're going to tourist destinations. Like if you're going to Colombia and you're going to Cartagena, if you stay in the Clock Tower area, if you stay in some parts of Boca Grande, maybe even El Aguita, you stay in maybe the San Antonio area, some area like that, you'll be good. You'll be good. Cops, everything. Long as you ain't flashy, that's cool. If you go to Dominican Republic, you stay around the Sewell or the Puerto Plata where the people at, you're good. The most focused thing is that when you go somewhere, you're around other travelers. Like you might not have gone with somebody, but as long as you go in the area where other United States travelers are, you'll be good. And that's good advice. And yes, I recommend it. I recommend anything traveling because don't wait for somebody else to travel. They may never go. I think many don't want to be free. Being free means you no longer have to anyone to blame for lack of success. Yes, the man is not holding you back. Yes. If that's in my opinion, no offense, but in my opinion, Dr. Umar is not free because his mind is not free. He's still focused on his oppressor and still focused on things that people can hold him back. When you're truly free, you don't think about none of that stuff. You can't be free if something is holding you back from feeling you can achieve. Just like he said, you can't be free if someone can tell you you got to get out of my house. I need to rent it to somebody else. You can't be free if someone has to pay you money to survive. I mean, as far as outside of investment, if you have to go to a job every day to survive, you can't be free. You're not a slave, but you can't be free. When you're going to travel to Africa, I'm going to travel to Africa once I am able to take a whole month off of work, and most likely once I have my whole situation with this Mexico property brought, and I am then only in need to wait 7 years, only to want to wait 7 years before I retire so I can get the whole 25-year pension. At that point, I will say, you know what? Now I can go to Africa for a month and not have to worry about nothing because I also have kids. So it's not even about the money. It's never about the money thing because the money, I can go to Africa tomorrow with the money. But it's back to the fact that I'm raising kids. I'm not one of the people who feel comfortable. And it's okay if some are. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it, but I'm not one of the people to feel comfortable not seeing my kid at least once a month at least once or twice a month. I mean, like seeing them and them being with me. So I don't feel as though right now, because my son is still young. My daughter, she's 14. When she's about 18, I won't feel that way with her because she's going to be living her life too. But my son, until he gets about 12 or 14, I won't feel comfortable being gone for a month at a time. Well, 12 or 14 years. You can retire with 4% withdrawal from your liquor network. Well, it depends how much money you make, in my opinion. Like 1 million you can spend for yeah. Like I said, it depends how much money you have saved. Yes, you can retire off of 40,000 a year easily. Easily. But getting to that 1 million is tough. What's going on, Keymaker? I appreciate it, man. I definitely appreciate it, man. Oh, Rio de Janeiro, man. I'm hearing mixed signals about Rio. Shout out to Barber World TV. That's another one I should have mentioned about the black. I mentioned about the black YouTube creators. But he told me right now it's a little bit it's wintertime, right? So it's a little cold in Rio de Janeiro, but and things are calming down. But I know it's probably still nice out there. Oh, and also rest in peace to Youssef. I forgot his last name. I actually spoke to him once in the email, but we never got to do a show together. But shout out, rest in peace to Youssef, YouTube creator who died in Sao Paulo, Brazil. 305, you know what it is. Any tips on buying your first property? Yes, TN. Here's the tip on buying your first property. Don't rush it, buy right. Don't rush it, buy right. And the next tip, buy a multifamily. Because if you don't have to pay your rent and you can live in the basement or you can live in the third floor, then you will be free sooner than everybody else. So those are some tips right there, man. People say Africa like it's one big country. Got to be more Pacific. Yeah, definitely, Jonathan. Like when I go to Africa, the reason why I keep telling people I got to go when I have a month is because I'm going to 4 to 5 countries. I'm going to Nigeria. I'm going to Ghana. I'm going to Kenya, South Africa, and it's probably going to be one other place like Tanzania I go. I'm going to 5 different places. I'm going to 4 or 5. My fault, 4 or 5. And I'm going to spend a week in each place. That's why I want to go for a month. Or up to a week, like 5 days in each place. Respect, definitely respect, man. Yeah, you should watch Teeth. Yeah, definitely. Can you explain the details of the Mexico property? Where is it? And why are you doing it? Okay. There's multiple reasons why I'm doing it, but where is it is probably the easiest place to go first. In Mexico, there's an area called Quintana Roo. If you haven't seen my Black Man's Guide to Quintana Roo, you should definitely check it underneath the Black Man's Guide to World Travel playlist. In Mexico, Quintana Roo, there's a place called Cancun, and there's a place called Tulum, and there's a place called Playa del Carmen. Cancun is a very known place that everybody knows, but everybody really only knows the hotel area, the hotel zone. They don't know that the downtown Cancun is kind of rough. And in Cancun, everything is so far away from each other that if you're not staying in, man, it's crazy out there, y'all. If you're not staying in the hotel area of Cancun, you're not going to be intertwined with like anybody but locals, right? So check it out. In Tulum is very far from the beach. Tulum, if you live in the city, you're going to be around a lot of people, but it's like 15 minutes from the beach. If you live in the beach area, you're going to be close to the beach, but you're going to be like 15 minutes away from the city. But Playa del Carmen, the fastest growing city in Mexico in 2020, is exactly where it's like Miami. It has the beach, it has the city, and it has locals, and the price is still low. So the property that I'm going to buy is going to be in Playa del Carmen, Mexico. Now, moving to why I'm doing it for multiple reasons. First, I want a property outside of the United States because I'm a firm believer in diversifying your portfolio. Now, diversifying your portfolio it doesn't just mean buying stocks from different places or investing in crypto. It means having real estate in different places. I have 2 houses in Jersey. I own 1 place in Miami, and now I want my first international property. I was supposed to buy this property in Colombia, but after watching what Colombia did and went through during this pandemic, I had to choose another place. And out of all places that I chose, Mexico had been the most steady and secure place during this pandemic. So I chose Mexico. then I chose Playa del Carmen because Playa del Carmen is the most upbringing city. So that was that. The second reason is because I can use that once I buy it off in those places. Like I said, I'm going to buy it all cash, financing. Once you buy it off, you own it, and it only costs about $600 because it's $500 for every $100,000 worth of property you have. So as long as I buy a property less than $500,000, I mean less than $100,000, I'm only paying $500 a year for property tax, HOA fees, and whatever that's going to come up to another $2,000 a year. So you're telling me $7,000 a year, and I own the property, I don't have to pay nothing else. If I don't want to rent it out, $7,000 a year, $7,000 a year ain't gonna kill me. No, my fault, not $7,000. My fault. $2,000 a year. I mean, no fault. $1,000 a year because it's $500 plus another $500 for the HOA fees. So $1,000. No. My fault. $200 a month for 10 months is $2,000. So it's $2,000. It's $2,700. So $2,700 a year ain't gonna kill me if I just have to pay that for myself. $2,700 a year, and I have a property in Mexico that's 10-minute walking distance to the beach, 5-minute walking distance to where everybody else is at, and everything there is cheap. If I don't gotta get no Airbnb, I don't worry about it. The other option is I can Airbnb it and make that money to pay it back, and that's why. I know it's kind of long-winded on that one. It's great to see how you value family. Keep it up and go. Definitely, K, man. Listen, that's what I'm trying to show other people on my channel. Like, I'm not trying to say that I'm the perfect example of stuff, but if anybody could take any part from my channel and use it in their life and make them a better person, or make them feel like they're a better person, or make them, inspire them to do something different, why not, man? Why not? Ali Parker said, "Hey, brother, I love your content. The other day, I probably watched. Dang, that's what's up, man. Appreciate it. I usually go sold me on Colombia. Yeah, definitely, man. Colombia with an O. Don't forget that. They'll probably drop me for that one. Appreciate that, Ali Parker. How open are you to? Right now, I'm not open at all, man. Right now, like I said, my boy, shout out to King James. I told my boy King James that I'll work with him once I solidify this property, because I've never owned a property out of the state. I never owned a property in Miami too until I bought this one, and I did it all by myself. Well, with the help of the realtors and stuff, because I don't want to mess up anybody else's money. That's one thing I don't want to do. I'm not going to go on a project that I don't know how to work with, even if the person might know how to do it. I don't really trust that easily. So once I know how to do it, once I've actually owned a property, shout out to TeleMade Dreams. I know a lot of you guys watch them, but TeleMade Dreams actually owns a place in the DR. So when he went to go buy that next property, it made sense for people to want to invest with him, because he said he's going to buy a building and he already owned the place. So that's kind of how it is for me. So I don't really want to work with any outside investors until I actually own a place for myself. It's not that easy. Relax. I work for Comcast. Thank you for the detailed explanation. I keep hearing you talk about the Mexico property. Yeah, definitely, man. Listen, financial freedom, man. Wait a second. Financial freedom, that's our only hope. All right, we have 53 minutes, man. Last minute questions. I'm happy we made this. I hope 46 people in the room. I hope you like it. I don't know. Like I said, my whole thing is this, man. This YouTube Black, man. If it could be a big thing, man. But bring it back to the main topic of this right here, y'all. Listen. No offense, but this slave mentality here, this is detrimental to the Black community, man. I mean, bad enough we at the same bad enough we're at the same financial level with the wealth gap as we was in 1968. We're at the same level here in 2021. We're at the same level in 2021. We don't need people that have a platform that's like able to like reach a lot of Black people, reach a lot of people to have slave. And I don't blame Stephen A. Smith. The reason why it's like everybody blames Stephen A. Smith, and I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying it's a bad mentality, because subconsciously he might not even know what the damage is doing. So you can't blame that man. I don't understand why people blame him, but you can't blame that man, because subconsciously he might not know what it's doing to the young Black community, to the Black community as a whole. So instead of us fighting this brother, let's just get people to say, hey, it's another way. There's a different perspective on this. Here's a different way to look at this. Not to knock the man for what he said, because that's how he feels. Never knock somebody how they feel or how they want to operate, but knock knock what the saying, knock what the thought is. Don't knock the man, knock the thought. Knock what he's saying. Let me see. Let me come back here. Let me see. Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely, man. All right, y'all. So I appreciate y'all for coming in, man. We 55 minutes in. Xavier, come here. Xavier. X-Man. Hold on a second, y'all. Xavier. Hold on one second. He's going to put to sleep. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Xavier, come here. Nah, but basically, y'all, listen. Don't knock the man, because everybody has their own. What's my African heritage?
What the?
My mother, my father, my mother's father, my grandfather, his family is from the South. Their family's from the South. They've been here. Their family's from the South. My grandmother, my mother's mother, they're Native American. They Cherokee, and their family Cherokee is blended with is mixed with other things, but mostly Cherokee all the way down the line as far as 6 generations. So that's my heritage from what I'm saying. But I was just saying, hey man, come on. Let me show you what Dad does. It's my little man right here, y'all. I'm gonna make sure that he knows. Say hi.
Hi.
What's your name?
Xavier.
I'm just gonna make sure that he knows that slave mentality is not good, man. And
I know that.
You see, he knows that. And I just want you guys to know the same, man. It's your boy FRE$H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's THEFLYBOYWAY. Don't ask why. Just check out the channel. And I'll see you on the next video. Peace and peace.
Peace out.
Peace out.
Why do you want to do that?